What's going on, everybody? Justin here to do a new episode of The List, episode 34. Let me turn off this TV. I had Brewers and Dodgers on. So, List 34, the topics I'm going to discuss in this episode that I want to discuss is Vince Russo, the dumb bastard, stupid idiot, Vince Russo. Supposedly, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's true. It's probably true because the guy's a douchebag. Vince Russo wants back into the WWE. Supposedly, he keeps emailing Vince McMahon every single week, asking for a job to come back. Also, I'll be discussing AJ Styles. Just turned 40 years old. I almost said 30. AJ just turned 40 yesterday. That's insane to think about that. That's crazy. AJ Styles, 40 years old. That makes me feel old, even though I'm not close to 40. I'll be talking about Cameron, former WWE diva, former god-awful trying to play wrestler Cameron. She was a god-awful wrestler, and she should have never tried. All she was good for was to be on Total Divas. And I'll be talking about Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, in a recent interview, said he will not, I think he said he'll never be a WrestleMania part-timer. In a recent interview, I'm going to talk about that topic right now. Chris Jericho said in an interview to Up Rocks about a variety of topics, including his most recent WWE run, taking time off to tour with his metal band, Fozzy, part-time wrestlers who show up only for WrestleMania paydays, and his future with WWE. Though some might classify Jericho as a part-time WWE superstar, since he does take extended breaks to focus on outside projects. And that's smart. That's really smart of Jericho, because then you don't get stale. And the fans then, and your fans, want to see you return more than ever when you go away for like 6 months or go away for 1 or 2 years or 3 years. Then the fans just want you back even more. So he says, and he sees a stark difference between his schedule and legends who show up once or twice a year to collect a WrestleMania payday. Let me think. Someone that has recently done that. Goldberg. You could say Brock's a part-timer, but Brock has that already in his contract. He works WrestleManias, Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. And then Brock works 1 or 2 other pay-per-views a year. Or 1 or 2 or 3 a year. So yeah, Brock is a part-timer, but the guy already had that in his contract years ago when he came back. Goldberg did work Survivor Series, Rumble, Fastlane, WrestleMania, but Goldberg was a part-timer. And he did return just for the money. That's why he returned. And good for Goldberg. They wanted to pay him a lot of money to come back. Vince wanted to pay him. I don't blame Goldberg for taking the money and coming back. Even though the guy said he's pretty miserable in being back because he couldn't really live up to being Goldberg from 15, 16, 17 years ago. Or even longer. Goldberg was in his prime in 98. 98 is 19 years ago. So you know what I'm saying. So now my stupid internet, I'll have to get it back. The web page closed on me. Said it crashed. That's why I hate this fucking old computer I'm using. So here we go. I got the page back. I should have used my brother's cell phone or tablet to read this, but here we go. So Jericho goes on to say, I gotta get back where I was reading. So anyways, where was I? He says he focuses on outside projects and that superstars just come back for once or twice a year to collect a WrestleMania payday and leapfrog superstars who have been on the road with WWE all year. The group would include the likes of The Undertaker, Triple H, The Rock, even Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. And then Jericho, when asked if we'll see him doing the part-time WrestleMania thing as he winds down his career, Jericho said no. I respect that. I really respect him saying that. He says, no, I won't do it because that's not the way it should be. When you're there, you should go on the road. That's how you help guys to learn. That's how I got better. And then Jericho said Jericho is known constantly for reinventing himself, and his most recent run produced some of the best work of his career. I agree. His bromance with Kevin Owens, that is fantastic. The list, the scarves, the stupid idiot catchphrase, drink it in man catchphrase. I mean, they made t-shirts that say drink it in man. I have one of them. I have a drink it in man shirt. They made a t-shirt of the list. You just made the list. I'm sure those shirts sold a lot. A lot of shirts WWE made off those two catchphrases, I'm sure, because of Jericho coming up with them. I don't think writers came up with that crap. It's not crap, but I think writers are too dumb. Their Hollywood writers, creative team did not come up with that. I think Jericho did. So then he says he has kept his character cutting edge of WWE for nearly 18 years after his debut with the company. And then Jericho goes on to say, this whole year I got way better because of working with younger guys who then were learning from me as well, Jericho said. They need that. It was a great year with just an awesome locker room, great people, lots of fun. I had as much fun out of the ring as I did in the ring, he says. As for his future with WWE, he does not plan to wrestle again, but he'd entertain the idea of only working live events. That would suck. I mean, it'd be good for the fans of the live events, but I would want to see Jericho on Raw or SmackDown because I'm a fan of his. And Jericho would make the product better. I mean, he would get more fans that probably would stop watching and start watching again. So you'd entertain the idea of working only live events, only working live events. And in 2015, he says, all I did was live events. I didn't do TV at all. It's like the anti-type Brock Lesnar. I wouldn't have a problem doing that either. Maybe I'll never go back on TV again, he says. Maybe I'll just do live events. And there it is. You can read the rest of the interview at uprocks.com/pro wrestling /Chris Jericho, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. Just look up uprocks.com if you want to check out the Jericho interview. So my thoughts now on Jericho. Saying he'll never be a WrestleMania part-timer, saying he'll might never come back to TV. That would be awfully sad if he never came back to TV and made a return. But I'd be okay with that. Jericho has been in the business for 26, 27 years. Jericho deserves to, if he wants to work live events, that's cool. He deserves that. If he doesn't want to come back to TV, he deserves whatever Jericho wants to do I'm for it. Because the guy has busted his ass. He's given the fans, he's given me enough years of entertainment. Where I'd be okay if I never saw Jericho again at a WrestleMania. That'd be sad, but I'd be okay with it. And I could deal with it. I was sad, very sad, when Stone Cold Steve Austin retired after WrestleMania 19, and he never wrestled again. I thought Austin might come back, wrestle at WrestleMania 20. He did not. I thought he'd wrestle at 21. He did not. I thought Austin might come back, wrestle at WrestleMania 23. He did not. He stayed retired. He had a legendary career, and Stone Cold Steve Austin stayed retired. I respect that. So I was sad when Austin did not return. If Jericho does not return to TV or WrestleMania, I'll be sad. But Jericho will go in the Hall of Fame. If he decides to retire, stop doing live events, Jericho will be in the Hall of Fame within probably 5 years. So I love Chris Jericho. The guy is a super talented man. The guy even makes great music. I'm a fan of his music also. Not every single song, but I'm a fan of his music. I've heard a lot of it, and I thought it was pretty damn good. His band Fozzy. So Jericho, whatever you want to do, I respect that. Whatever you want to do, do it. Because you've earned it. You've given the fans over 25 years of great entertainment and great wrestling. So now I'm going to move on to AJ Styles. AJ Styles turned 40 years old. He was born on June 2nd, 1977. Today is June 3rd. So AJ's birthday was yesterday. He's 40 years old. That's insane. I do not look at AJ Styles as a 40-year-old man. The guy still works and wrestles like he's 30 or 25. AJ's still in his prime at 40. Like Ric Flair, when he came to WWF in 91, I think he was 41 years old, or 40 or 42. Ric Flair was still in his prime. In 91, 92, he was still in his prime. And he was in his 40s. Or just turned in his 40s. So AJ Styles, no doubt about it, AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, is still in his prime at 40. And he'll probably still be in his prime at 45 years old because he is that good. Just like Shawn Michaels, when he turned 40, Shawn Michaels was still in his prime. When he turned 40, because Shawn Michaels was that damn good. AJ Styles is on the same level, in my opinion. AJ's on the same level as Shawn Michaels. Talent-wise, wrestling-wise, in-ring talent, they're on the same level. I think Shawn might be a little better than AJ. But AJ probably still has over 5 years of wrestling at a high level. So happy birthday, happy late birthday, AJ Styles. You're 40. I can't believe you're 40. You still compete like you're 30 years old. And that's just, I grew up watching AJ. I saw AJ Styles in 2001 on a pay-per-view from an Australian company. They're called World Wrestling All-Stars. Anyways, 2001 to 2017, that time has flown by. I can't believe AJ's 40. Makes me feel old, but I'm still a huge fan of AJ. I don't know if he'll be wrestling at 50. I don't know what that would look like. AJ Styles being a 50-year-old man, still competing at a high level. He probably could, but I don't know what that would look like. I'm going to just say, when AJ's 45, he'll probably still be in his prime. So next story on this episode of the list I'm going to talk about is Stupid Cameron. Former, I think she's in Tough Enough. in 2011 or something. The Tough Enough that they brought back, where Stone Cold was a host, Trish, Booker T were trainers, Bill DeMott was a trainer. So Cameron claims she would like to come back. I'm trying to find the article on everything she said. I don't want to see her back, and I hope she doesn't come back, and I hope they don't hire her to come back. And I just had the damn article, and I clicked off it. So stupid Cameron thinks she could possibly make a WWE return. Please do not try to come back. So Cameron spoke to Extra, I guess the TV show Extra, the entertainment show, I think. That's the only Extra I know of. She spoke about her new photo shoot in Icon magazine. When asked about possible return to WWE, Cameron said they left on good terms and has no ill will towards anybody there. She's grateful for her time in WWE and appreciates all the love and hate she received over the years from the WWE Universe. That's a lie. Why would anybody enjoy the hate? That's just a dumb thing to say. She says, I would definitely love to come back. Please don't. I don't want to see you back. And a lot of fans do not need to see you back. We have enough talented women, part of the WWE, that are 1,000 times more talented than you were in the ring. You sucked as a wrestler. You absolutely were god-awful, and you sucked. You tried to go to NXT to get better, and you, I guess, had 1 or 2 matches on NXT. I only remember seeing you like once or twice, and you got beat and destroyed by Asuka once, I believe. Asuka destroyed her, as well as Asuka should have destroyed her, because Cameron really has no business in the ring with someone like Asuka. I said the other women on the main roster are 1,000 times more talented, while Asuka's 1,000,000 times more talented in the ring than Cameron. So she says she would love to go back, show the WWE Universe her full potential. She said, no. As you say, girl, bye. Girl, no. You have no potential as a wrestler. You have 0 potential as a wrestler. And you don't have enough skills to get any better. So then she goes on to say, I like to say this isn't goodbye, but more like see you later. No. Again, no. Girl, bye. Stay bye. Nobody wants to see you come back to wrestling. If you want to come back so bad, go to the indies and try that out. And I'm sure you'll quit real fast, because you won't like that the indies, you don't have the bright lights and cameras on you. So here we go. She goes on to say, there will forever be a chip on my shoulder. Maybe one day I will be able to prove myself to the WWE Universe. I hope that day never comes, that you're able to prove yourself, because you sucked. And stop trying to play wrestler. You're not a wrestler. You didn't have the talent to be a wrestler. You couldn't pick it up good enough. You were just bad. So then, that's all she said. That she would love to come back in the future. I say to that, please don't. Girl, stay by. For good. That's all I gotta say about Cameron. Do not come back, and please don't hire her back. WWE, do not hire her back. You've got a good thing going with a good women's division with a lot of women that are talented. Cameron does not need to be a part of it, because she has 0 talent as a wrestler and as a wrestling character. She maybe could come back and be a heel manager, but that's all she could probably do. If they want to bring her back, bring Cameron back as a heel manager and put her in the Titus brand. That's all I can come up with for her. So, Vince Russo now. Vince Russo. A guy that I don't like. A guy that's full of shit. And go listen on YouTube to Jim Cornette and his show where Jim Cornette talks about how Vince Russo wants to come back and his bags WWE. According to Jim Cornette, Vince Russo has begged Vince McMahon and WWE that he wants to come back and emails Vince McMahon every single week asking for a job. That's probably true. I wouldn't doubt that. That is probably really true. Vince Russo, get over it. Get over yourself. You were not good. You were not good in wrestling as a writer. The only time you were good is when you worked side by side with a genius named Vince McMahon during the Attitude Era. That's the only time you had a couple good ideas. And you worked with talents that were already great. You worked with talents that already would have got themselves over and were already going to be major stars. Worked with guys like Mick Foley, who already was a big star. He was already a big star as Cactus Jack, and when he came in as Mankind, he just got to be a bigger star because he's on the WWE stage. So Mick Foley already had the talent. He didn't need your help, Vince Russo, at writing promos or coming up with stuff. The Rock already had the talent. He didn't need your help either. Stone Cold already had the talent. He didn't need your help to get over anymore. And Vince definitely, I mean, Russo and Vince McMahon working together in the Attitude Era, it was a good thing. Because they both probably made each other better. And they both fed off each other. And they both probably took each other's ideas and worked over them. And it worked out. But it's not the Attitude Era. It's 2017. And Vince Russo, you're like a 50-year-old man. I don't know how old you are, I don't care, but you got a gray beard looking like Santa Claus. You got full head of gray hair, white hair. I'm not saying you should dye your hair, but Vince Russo, you look like you're close to 60. And I don't know how old you are, you're probably in your 50s. But a 50-year-old man should not be trying to get back into the WWE thinking that Vince Russo, you think you could just fix everything and make the ratings jump and go up. And that you really want to help Vince McMahon so bad because you, I don't know why, you think you want to give back and help Vince because you think Vince is out of touch and or whatever. Well, Vince doesn't need your help. Yes, the ratings are way down, but who cares? I don't care. It's not a big deal to me. If the ratings go down enough and enough and enough, USA Network will probably just cut the third hour. That's what they'll probably end up doing if the ratings keep going way down. So that'd be a good thing if the ratings keep going down. Then we can get Raw back to 2 hours. Because, or I don't know, USA Network is probably, they're probably still making a lot of money with the third hour of Raw from advertising, paying USA, the advertisers paying USA Network, still probably a lot of money for the third hour. Even though the third hour, every single week, I'm sure, I don't look up the ratings all the time. I barely look them up at all anymore because I don't care. I don't care what the ratings are. I'm happy as a fan. I don't think the product sucks. Could it get better? Of course it could. But every company and product could get better. I'll tell you one company that's doing pretty great is Ring of Honor. But Ring of Honor could get better by having a 2-hour show every week instead of just 1 hour. And Ring of Honor could definitely get better by being on cable TV, having a 2-hour show every, I don't know, Monday night or something. Or put Ring of Honor Monday night after Raw or during the third hour of Raw for 2 hours until 11 p.m. And I think the company that owns Ring of Honor, Sinclair Broadcasting, they actually, I believe, bought and own the tennis channel. On cable and satellite, there was a tennis channel. So they could actually probably put Ring of Honor on the tennis network. And it'd probably draw good ratings for them. But I don't know why Sinclair doesn't want to try to get Ring of Honor on cable TV for 2 hours. I don't know why they don't. Maybe because it costs too much money to put on bigger production. I don't know. But Sinclair, the company that owns Ring of Honor, they got probably billions of dollars behind them. Probably millions and billions. But they don't probably want to put millions in the Ring of Honor. Because they want to make some profit. Anyways, back to Vince Russo. You're like a 50-year-old man. You could not help WWE and Vince that much where the ratings would go up every week. Because they're not going to keep going up. They're not going to just start going up. They're not going to start going up to 4 million people a week. That's not going to happen. Monday Night Raw is never going to get to 4 million people again. Unless it's a Raw before WrestleMania, maybe. I don't even know what the Raw before WrestleMania drew in a rating this year. I don't even know if it got to 3.5 million, and I don't really care. All I care about is the network, really. Yes, I watch Raw and SmackDown still, but I care about the network the most. I love the network, and eventually, I think Raw and SmackDown will be live on the WWE Network, and by doing that, they could get 2 million more subscribers to the network, so the network then would have 3 million subscribers. Right now, they probably have 1.6 million. If they put Raw and SmackDown live on the network, they could get 3 million subscribers. And they would make a lot of money from that. Probably more money than USA Network is paying them. Because their contract with the USA Network, they didn't get that great of a deal. I think they only got $150 million or something for like 3-4 years. So imagine if the network, WWE Network, if they had 3 million subscribers, that would come to, I don't know, I can't do the math, but that'd probably come to like $300 million or something like that, I think. They would have to. 3 million subscribers paying $10 a month, that'd probably come to over $300 million. Again, I'm not great at math. I'm not a math teacher, sorry. Vince Russo, I don't want to see you back in wrestling. You don't need to be back. Keep doing your god-awful podcast with your stupid, dumbass ideas and stupid things you say on there. Keep doing that. You must be miserable. You must hate your life that you want to go back to work with Vince McMahon. If you're begging for a job, like Jim Cornette said, if you're really begging for a job, that's fucking pathetic. And stop doing that. Because Vince doesn't need you. Vince can talk to Triple H about creative ideas. Triple H has a very smart mind for wrestling. And I trust Triple H to come up with better ideas than I trust Vince Russo at like 50 years old. Plus, I think Vince Russo and Kevin Dunn mostly, I think they hate pro wrestling. They love sports entertainment or whatever they love. Triple H has a track record of running NXT pretty damn well for the last 3-4 years. I mean, he has run NXT great. They've become a third brand. They keep bringing great talent that used to be in Impact or the Indies. They're going to keep bringing new talent. I mean, they really need to bring in like at least two more good women wrestlers into NXT. Because they got Ruby Riott, she's good. Nikki Cross, she's good. Asuka and Ember Moon. And then they got Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. They're decent, but they're not great in the ring like the other four I named. So NXT's women's division needs at least 2 more women added to it that are good wrestlers. The men's division, the world title division, the tag team division is good. They got enough great talent. Aleister Black, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Roode, Old Tommy, Roderick Strong, Eric Young, who else? Cassius Ohno. NXT has a lot of great talent. A lot of great talented guys. So NXT is going to be fine for the next 2-3 years. So Vince Russo, stop talking about how you want to help Vince McMahon and go back to work there, and stop telling people that you're offering your services for free. That you'd go back to help Vince McMahon for free. Or that you're going to write him emails critiquing the shows every week and tell him what he did wrong and right. Nobody needs that from you. Russo, just shut up and go away. I wish you just vanish and disappear. Just, if you got fans, good for your fans. I hope they're happy with your podcast, but I don't listen to it, so I don't care what you do on your podcast. I don't listen to many podcasts, wrestling-wise. I mean, there's too many of them out there. I listen to Sam Roberts sometimes when I can, or if he has a guest I really want to hear. I listen to Stone Cold Steve Austin sometimes. I listen to Jericho sometimes. I listen to Jim Cornette, because Jim Cornette, the guy's entertaining as hell. And I agree with probably 95% of the things he says about wrestling and his political views. So, Vince Russo, my final thought on you, go away. And stop talking on your podcast. Stop talking about how you want to come back and contact Vince McMahon and work for free for him to help him out. Nobody cares that you want to help him out. I don't care, and in my opinion, Vince doesn't need help. Yes, the ratings are down, but big deal, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The ratings keep going down. Vince could just put Raw and SmackDown on his network and make more money that way. That's all I got. This was a list, episode 34. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I went long, but I talked about Cameron, AJ Styles turning 40, Jericho, and stupid Vince Russo. I have more hate and anger towards Vince Russo than I do towards Cameron. I don't hate Cameron at all. I just think she's a stupid person with no brains, just got air in her head, and she thinks she can actually come back and be a wrestler and succeed again. She didn't succeed in her first run with the company. She didn't succeed at all as a wrestler. She failed. So this was the list, episode 34. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. Extreme Rules is tomorrow night. I'll be live tweeting it at WWE NXT, guys. So look for my Extreme Rules live tweets, and I'll be doing an Extreme Rules review tomorrow night. It'll be on my YouTube channel after Extreme Rules. Bye for now.